But they did find themselves playing well down the stretch. But there was a lot of improvement that we made when you look at the film, just fundamentally and technically. And I think that gave those kids confidence. Then they see themselves on Saturdays making plays, and you had Isaiah go out and be the SEC D lineman of the week one week, Trajan the next week. That you're going to build confidence off of success like that.
Coach, the defense is in a little bit of a weird spot where, Coach Drinkwitz and Coach Baker are talking about carrying over momentum and continuity and the terminology from last season, but you've also got a bunch of new faces on the staff. How do you kind of balance those two things?
I think it's based on your foundation. If you lay the foundation the right way, then it'll be whatever you want it to be. Again, we coming off a little bit of a momentum. Again, like I said, statistically, it doesn't show exactly the way we played down the stretch, but we did feel ourselves have a little success. Now we just got to get those new guys to understand, hey, this is the mode we're in now, and we're not going to waver on where we at right now. We know that we need to make improvements. We have some transfers coming in, got some freshmen that's coming in, and they're going to have to just fall in line and continue to go. And I think the guys that are here, the core, the guys that were here returning, they know what it felt like. The new dudes don't. And they're responsible for reiterating it, like, hey, this is why we work this way, because when we started to work this way, we started to have success.
If you guys have talked about Coach Baker really talking to you and Coach Smith and the other guys who were here last year about what you can kind of incorporate from last season and the terminology and all that, how have you seen him kind of work to keep you on the fold?
I think he's doing the best job he could possibly be doing to marry things that he wants to do and is doing to the things that we have already, making it feel more comfortable for the kids that were here already. The new kids, it won't affect them as much because they don't know the stuff from the past, but the guys that were here, is making it a smooth transition for them, in which they can hit it and get it and go fast. When it's not a smooth transition, then those kids are going to play slow. They're going to feel like they're confused. They don't know what they're doing. But because there's a lot of similarities in what we're doing, it's making it a very smooth transition.
Coach Davis, Darius said last week that, I don't know how aware you are of this, but he said he does hot yoga with some of his teams.
Yes, there's a couple of them. Yeah. They found a place. I don't know the name of the place, but I seen they took a picture out in front of it. But himself, Trajan Jeffcoat, Isaiah, Cannon York, and a couple more other guys, they found a place here locally, and I think it helps them a lot. I talked to them about it when I was at the junior college as a junior college coach. I was a head strength coach. I was dorm duty. I did everything. And one of the deals that I did with the O lineman and the D lineman at Hutch Community College was I had those guys turn on the yoga on the YouTube, on the TV in the weight room, and they would do it in the weight room. Yeah. When you play this position, it's some unique things when you talk about the sport of wrestling. If guys of high school wrestling, he's going to be pretty good at playing D-line. Anybody that does jiu-jitsu, they're going to be pretty good. Yoga, the flexibility, all that stuff encompasses the athletic ability. It exposes the flexibility of kids that plays this position. You play this position, yoga is going to help a football player that has to bend all the time, that needs to be able to turn a corner. So I think it's good that they've gotten together and found them a place to go to and do that.
Do you have any kind of a background in like wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
I don't, not at all. Not until I became a college football coach. I started to pick up that the hand movements in jiu-jitsu and boxing are similar to a D lineman shooting his hands. And as far as the flexibility, you work on it in the weight room, but you don't really think to do yoga. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's something outside of football because they get so much of us, right? They get so much of us. It's good they can go somewhere else and get that too. But no, I don't have a background in it at all.
Thanks, Coach.
Obviously, talking with Coach Peoples, you have some history with him. So obviously, from being coached by him to coaching kind of alongside him here, what is that like and what kind of that experience?
It's very exciting for me, to be honest with you, because I don't think I'll be where I'm at if it wasn't for Coach Peoples. Before I met Coach Peoples, Bobby Allen was my defensive line coach. I love him to death. I babysat his kids, who also became quarterbacks at the University of Arkansas. I coached them in high school. I coached them in college. Got a great relationship. But I became a different football player when I met Kevin Peoples in 2011. That off season, I had a really, really good off season. He introduced me to Coach Pete Jenkins. Started to kind of come into my own, learn different drills, and I went from a player that made 24 tackles my junior year to being a player that made 53 tackles my senior year. And it was because of the success of the system that I was being taught. Because I had success in that system, teaching it, now I coach it. And it's one of those deals where if you really believe in something, why wouldn't you want to teach the other people? Why wouldn't you want to spread the wealth of knowledge that you got from it? So meeting Coach Peoples changed my life completely, not just as a football player, but then now that I'm a coach, I teach the same things that I was being taught as a player.
what was it about him as a coach that allowed you to have success within that allowed you to make that growth?
Well, with me, to be honest with you, he met me late in my career. I was already a captain of the football team, and I was pretty stubborn at the time, to be honest with you. So a lot of the bad habits that I created over the time, learning things were the system that he taught was a little bit more efficient than what I was learning from Coach Allen. Not that the stuff that Coach Allen was teaching me was right or wrong or so on and so forth. It wasn't that it was bad. It was that what Coach Peoples taught was better catered to the type of player that I was. So I had more success doing what he was teaching me opposed to what Coach Allen was teaching me.
How would you describe his approach as a coach and what he brings in that regard?
I will tell you this. I don't know a player in the country that wouldn't be able to walk in the room and play for him. Got a great attitude. He's going to smile. Got this certain seriousness to him. He got a real straight face. All right, and you don't know if he's being serious with you or he's joking. But I think that with that demeanor itself, when he walks into the room, the kids know, hey, this guy's here about business. And I think that's been great for our kids because some of those guys in that room has had a couple coaches. You know what I mean? And for this to be to work moving forward, we needed somebody that's going to be able to come in, one, add value by being able to help the kids, but then still having that presence where when he does walk in the room, he's not just Coach Allen. Now we got Coach Peoples. This is what we're doing. This is what we're not doing. Okay, this is how we're going to look on film. This is how we're not going to look on film. And they've taken it, and it's because he is serious about his business. He does walk in. He has a certain demeanor, a certain swag about himself, and I think the kids have already gravitated towards it.